Hiya Rob, great session today, really good to catch up with you and see you out in action on the golf course. Obviously one of the things we've noticed today is your ability to control the flight of your golf ball needs to be improved, and also your ability to start the golf ball off in your desired direction needs to be improved. If you're going to take the game now to another level, you've got to improve those two aspects more than any other areas in your game. So if we take a little look at why that's happening, a lot of it is to do with the angles that you're creating at setup and the consequential effect on your golf swing. If we take a little look here at Grant Weight on the left, what we tend to see with better players is that the sternum and the centre of the hips are a little bit more in line with one another. You can see they're sitting a little bit more vertically at setup, whereas what we see with yourself is a lean away from the target at setup. You can see from both face on and from the rear that there's a definite tilt in the spine at setup and a definite tilt in the hips at setup. What we see with the guy on the left is a little bit more of an upright, there is a fraction of a tilt, but a little bit more of an upright spine angle and certainly a more level hip position. One really good way of you getting a feel for this is to take yourself to a piece of grass somewhere, make a few swings on some down slopes, try and hit a few balls off a down slope, just to give you the feeling that you're a little bit more level in your spine with a little bit more weight on your left hand side. So overall we've got to get everything a little bit more level and a little bit more centered at setup. The problem that's causing is that during your backswing you've already preset the move off the golf ball, so you're now going to make a backswing where again you maintain that spine tilt away from your target. Whenever you do that, you're going to move the path of the club too much from the inside, and you can see here with our friend on the left that the backswing tends to be again a little bit more centered, and as a result the spine sits a little bit more upright. Again, there is a fraction of a lean away from the target, but nowhere near as much as we're seeing with your golf swing at the present moment. Whenever you get that much behind it on the way back, you're going to find it very, very difficult to get back on top of the golf ball on the way through. So as you're coming into impact, you can see here from the rear view, everything hangs back. You're now stuck on the inside, adding loft to the golf club, quick angle of ascent on the way out. So you're sending these golf balls out to the right, very, very high. As we said today on the way around, you can hit it high and right for fun. What we need to do is get you hitting it low and starting it left on occasion, just to give you a different feel. You can see here from face on, everything's hanging back, hanging back, hanging back, and now you're in a perfect position to hit it high and right. There's a lot of good things in this swing, Rob. We've just got to get the geometry of it right. We've got to get your angles right at setup to allow you to get in a much better position on the way through. So first task is to get a little bit more upright with your spine. Get your spine and your hips, or your sternum and your hip centre a little bit more matched up, shoulders a little bit more level. Maybe try putting a fraction more weight on your left hand side at setup, but certainly get yourself over to a piece on the practice ground where you can get on the downhill line and spend a bit of time making a few swings or even hitting a few shots off that downhill line. Your key thought for your backswing is to get the left shoulder working down. You can see here that even though this is late in the round, the left shoulder still travels across a lot. So it's travelling to the right and the arms are working up. That's very, very difficult to coordinate. We can see here on this particular shot, we were trying to start the ball left of that red marker. This was on the 12th tee. You can see that you're setting up to do that. The club goes back on a nice path. There's a little bit of a lift on the way back, but that's not the major issue. On the way down now, because we're hanging back, you can see that the club no longer traces the path that's on the floor. It's coming too much from the inside, and then on the way through, stays too much on the out. So very, very much out into out on a shot that we were trying to start left of the marker. And you can trace the flight of the golf ball there. It starts a good 2 feet right of the red marker. Now if you're hitting a driver 250 yards plus and it's starting off 2 feet right in the first 20 yards, that's only going to be exaggerated when it gets further down the golf course. You have the wind howling off your left on this particular shot, therefore your ability to start it left of the fairway is essential. The minute that ball starts up the right with the wind so far off the right hand side, you're on a hide into nothing. within 20 yards of that golf shot being hit. So we need to get more centered on the way on the setup position, stay a little bit more on top of it on the way back. The way you're going to get that is by feeling that the left shoulder works down more. So again, I'm going to get rid of some of these lines. You can see Grant Waite's shoulder or left shoulder on the way back is going to work down more than what we see with yourself. Left shoulder down rather than left shoulder across like we see with yourself. In regards to the putting, I've just put this up here again, and again, it's angles. You put pretty well, but I feel you could put much, much better if you just reduce the amount of angles you've got between your forearms and your upper arm. You can see there a tremendous amount of angle. Elbows pointed out, that tends to produce a putting stroke that's manipulated shut and then open on the way through. I'd like to see you just tuck those elbows into your sides a little bit more, stand a little bit taller and just tuck the elbows in so that they're gently pressed into your side. Great person to look at for that is Tiger. Look at the angles he creates at setup, try and mirror those the best you can. Great to see you out on the golf course today. There's a lot of ability in there, and it's just trying to get out. You had a couple of shots today, particularly your drive down 18 and your drive down, I think it was the 14th, where you flighted it beautifully and you got much more yardage on it. You got an extra 30 yards on that one down 18. That was great to see. Good luck with it. Speak to you again in a week or so's time. Keep up the good work, and again, really enjoy the day. Well done.